All right, so what we're going to do today is the Photoshop logo, and what we need to do is we need to find, so it says search and save for a high-res image off the internet, open, rename it, and then save it to our desktop folder, and then we're going to upload it, not today, but next class to turn in. So these are the directions, and before we get started, up here shows you guys why it's so important to save this particular logo off of the internet. So here you'll see this is the blue logo, and there's going to be a bunch of different PS logo versions on the internet. You have to make sure that you find one that is dark blue and light blue, just like this, because as you will see next week when we start to create our new world in Photoshop, the dark blue will become white and the light blue will become transparent or see-through. And in order for us to get to this next stage, we need to make sure that we do step one correctly, which is searching and finding this logo. So in order to do that, we're going to come down here, and I'm going to open the directions that say finding and saving the logo. And to start, here's the video if you guys would like to see it, right? And then to start, it says finding and saving the logo off the internet. Using the link provided below, search the internet for this PS logo image. Again, you have to come back with that one. So in order to make your life a little easier, I provided a link, and if you click on it, it opens up. And you'll see this logo is wrong, this one's wrong. Okay, there's lots of different wrong logos in here. And it's important when you find your image that it is between 800 to 1,000 pixels. So when I hover my mouse over here, it's telling me that this starts at 300 pixels. I don't want that, that's too small. This one is wrong. This one's wrong because it has a dark border. This one looks okay, but again, 500 is too small. This one has a white border, so that doesn't work. This one's 1,000, a little bit more than 1,000. So this one might be our best bet. Let's look. 300 too small, 600 too small. So I click on this, and here it is over here. Again, it says that it's about 1,000, which is great. And I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to save image as. I need to make sure that I navigate to my desktop, to my folder. And don't worry about renaming or anything like that right now. You're just simply going to save to your folder. Again, it says desktop up here. That is me, and I want to save. So it says navigate to your folder and save. We've done all 6 of these directions already. Now we're going to scroll down to opening the logo in Photoshop. Located on your desktop, double-click on Adobe Photoshop. So this is my desktop, and here's Adobe Photoshop. I'm going to double-click to open it. In Photoshop, go to Open, File, Open, navigate to Desktop, your folder, and then open the logo that you just saved off the internet. So Photoshop, File, Open, again, Desktop, my folder, and here's the logo that I opened off the internet. It's extremely important that you guys do desktop and your folder. I'm Kay Farrell because I'm the only one that works at this computer. If you just go to open, it might only open up the folder for the kid that sat there last class, which is not you. So please make sure that you're very vigilant. You pay attention that it's desktop, your folder at all times. I'm going to open this up in Photoshop, and here it is. Again, I expect you guys to navigate between Google Classroom to look at directions and then also Photoshop. So you never X out, right? You can minimize to get to those 2 things, or you can come down here and click between those icons. So I've opened my logo. That was super easy. So now I'm on renaming. In Photoshop, go to File, Save As, and navigate to my folder again. So I'm going to do File, Save As, and it opened to my folder, but again, it's because I'm the only one that does this. So it's really important that you guys always do desktop, your folder, and here it is. Now that I have my folder open, it says navigate to your folder. Make sure you're in your folder. I double-checked I am, so now I need to name it last name PS and change my format to JPEG. So I'm going to go to Photoshop, and I'm going to name this Farrell, because that's my last name. You're going to type your last name. And then we're typing the project. For this, it's PS. And then down here, it's PNG. I'm switching to JPEG. Then I'm going to press Save. Sometimes this shows up where it's not the highest quality. So please make sure that you pause when the screen pops up and you look, and you always move this as far to the right as you possibly can. Then you press OK. You'll notice up here it's changed the file. So this is the correct file name. And you're also going to want to minimize, and then double check in your folder. And when I hover my mouse over it, it says item type JPEG. My dimensions are more than 1,000, which is fine. And then look at that, the file name is named correctly. It's file PS. I'm sorry, Feral PS. Now I'm going to go back to Photoshop. And that's it. Next class, we'll do this together. We will upload the file to Google Classroom. We'll do that next class. So you guys can stop, and now you can go here, and you can scroll up to Photoshop World, and you can click on any of these images to start to look at. See, you click, and then you scroll forward or backwards, and you can see all the different worlds that were created years before, and you guys need to think of your own. Once you've finished that, and you've looked at this, and you still have time left in the class period, then you can come all the way up here to the class resources, click here so it expands down. You can go on to web apps to use outside of class. You guys can look at these in class now because you're not comfortable with Photoshop. And you can also look at great websites right now because, again, you're not comfortable with Photoshop. As the year goes on, I will expect you only to be in these tutorials to work in Photoshop. So for the rest of the class, you can go here.